Facebook, not all shares are created equal, and this is complicated but interesting, and you need to know. And we've got Emily Chasen here from the Wall Street Journal CFO group, right?
CFO Journal, yeah.
CFO Journal, there it is.
Welcome.
Welcome. So, not all shares are created. If you've got a share of Facebook stock, it might not be worth as much as somebody else's share of Facebook stock. Explain why.
Yeah, well, Facebook in their IPO document, they laid out that they're going to do two different classes of share. It's sort of a dual class stock structure. So some shares, the Class B shares, will be worth 10 votes per share, and the regular public shares, the Class A shares, will be worth 1 vote per share.
So the 10 vote per share are the ones that Zuckerberg and
other insiders
own.
would have.
Us regular people are not getting those.
No, no, I don't think so. So, there are other companies that do have dual class structures that do sell both of them.
Like our parent company,
like News Corp,
and also the New York Times does this, and Google does this.
It's common in media and some tech companies.
Yeah, it's increasingly common in the tech space. Over the past couple of years, about 20 companies this year and 19 companies the year before have done dual class IPOs. A lot of them in tech, like Zynga, Zillow, Groupon, LinkedIn. The whole latest group of IPOs have all done this dual class structure.
So I thought the idea behind bare knuckle capitalism, which I happen to be a big fan of, was that my dollars are as good as Julia's or Mark Zuckerberg's, and apparently in this case not, right? Because his dollars will get him more votes for his shares than mine.
He also founded it, right?
Well,
he's going to argue that to you.
Well, yeah, he may argue that, and he's welcome. You're welcome to come on the show, Mr. Zuckerberg, anytime you want. You just give me a call, okay? But carry on.
He's going to control about 57% of the company, but he's going to only hold a 28% economic stake in Facebook. So this all started actually really in 2004, I think, when Google went public. They used a dual class structure, and it had been kind of falling out of favor with investors. A lot of media companies ran into trouble with it because investors felt like they weren't getting one vote, one say, one share.
Right. It's not so great. I mean, the shareholders who buy the single vote shares, generally are not as happy about these things because they don't actually control.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. That's sort of what happens over the long term. We talked to an academic at Wharton who said that actually it's pretty interesting because the whole structure of family ownership changes over time. So in the beginning, when it's the founder who's in charge, it might actually be okay because founder-led companies tend to trade at a premium generally just because the founder is so involved and it's sort of the founder company. But over the long term, when it switches, then it trades at a discount to their kids or future generations, or the founder is not in charge and not the CEO or the chairman. Those companies do start to get into trouble.
I think that's what happened with Dow Jones under the Bancrofts, where the family got very dispersed. And I think I remember studying that before it was bought by News Corp.
Right.
And things changed. Just a little historical aside there. So do you think this will stop people wanting Facebook shares?
No, probably not. Facebook, I think people are pretty clear that Mark Zuckerberg's in charge. He's always been the CEO, and that's sort of what he's trying to keep. And, from Google sold shares like this, and they've seemed to have done okay with it.
Yeah, like you said, when the founder's there, people are in some way betting on him anyways, right? So the bet is in some ways on Mark Zuckerberg anyways.
So really, you're buying shares in Mark Zuckerberg is what you're doing?
Yeah, you're doubling down on that. And, but at the same time, there's the clause in the S1 that I noticed where when he dies, even his shares revert to his designated person. So, you're betting on his progeny or who he decides.
Well, and that, there may be a few problems with him being young, but that isn't one of them. The fact that he is young and likely to live a long, healthy life is actually an advantage because you can bet that you're betting on the founder for a long time, right?
Right, except for the whole hit by bus thing. But, I think...
He travels by bus? Does he? Wow. Wow. Is that what you're saying? Is that an exclusive from you?
I'm just saying there are no guarantees in
life. There are no guarantees.
Google does have buses. I don't know if Facebook has buses.
So, okay, this is it. This is interesting. I love this. He's going to have a minority of the shares, but he's going to have control, and that's great for him. And I still think it's a bit kind of odd.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of the one thing that some investors are saying, well, I don't know about this IPO because of that. But, most other things, they say, Facebook's a hot product and maybe that'll go a long time. And, a lot of the investors are short-term investors who aren't expecting to hold it for all of Mark Zuckerberg's life. So